Hello and welcome to the Empress Podcast. I am your host, Jessica, known in the online space as Jess the Empress. I started this podcast to help you be present with yourself, cope with chaos, and simplify your life. I do this by combining psychology, behavioral science, and the tarot. I have a background in mental health, specifically a master's in clinical social work from USC, and I'm a professional tarot reader. So get ready to have a nurturing, creative, and empowering experience with me as we use practical magic. Hey love, before we get to today's episode, I want to ask you to rate and review my podcast. Giving me a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts would mean the world to me. I love knowing who's listening and what everyone is getting from the episode, so please take a moment of your time to share your thoughts, and I look forward to reading your reviews soon. Hey there, coffee lovers. Are you tired of settling for boring coffee? I have a treat for you. Today's episode is brought to you by Heartwork Coffee Bar, your one-stop destination for exceptional coffee experiences. Whether you're a coffee connoisseur or just someone who appreciates a great cup of joe, Heartwork Coffee Bar is here to elevate your coffee game to new heights. At Heartwork Coffee Bar, they take pride in their craft because each batch is carefully roasted to perfection, ensuring that every sip is a symphony of flavor. From the rich and the robust to the light and fruity, they have a coffee blend for every palate. And here's the best part. For you amazing podcast listeners, Heartwork Coffee Bar is offering an exclusive 10% discount on your purchase. Just use the code EMPRESS10 at checkout and you'll save big on your order. Why settle for ordinary when you can indulge in the extraordinary coffee from Heartwork Coffee Bar? Remember to use code EMPRESS10 for that special 10% discount and treat yourself to the coffee experience that you deserve. Don't miss out on this fantastic offer. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thanks to Heartwork Coffee Bar for making today's episode possible. Now go grab your favorite mug, brew a fresh cup, and enjoy the podcast with the perfect companion, Heartwork Coffee Bar. Cheers. Hey besties, what's up? Hi! I'm so glad to be talking to you. Oh my gosh, I'm like, where should I begin? I have so many notes written down because of the conversations that I've been having with clients lately. And I thought I would just honestly talk to you guys about what I've been seeing and what's been coming up in conversation with clients, because if it's happening with them, it's happening with someone else who's listening. And it's like, let me just share, this is what I'm here for. So this is going to be an episode where I'm focusing on really talking about the importance of why you need to get busy with your own life. And I mean this in the best way possible. Some of y'all are sitting out here so uninspired without realizing that you need to inspire yourself. You need to open up and change the way that you see the world around you, so that way you can be inspired by the world instead of being depressed, okay? Look, depressing things exist, and they have existed forever. This is the way the world is. But you have to understand that what you focus on really, really matters. You have eyes that can see, ears that can hear. You have a brain that can think and process. You have the ability to get stuff done, but you keep tripping yourself up by focusing on stuff that doesn't fucking matter. And I'm like, you guys, I want to scream this from the rooftops, but instead I'll just talk about it on my channel. I just want to see you guys so happy. I want to see you guys thriving. I want to see you guys waking up. I don't necessarily feel like every day we should have to wake up feeling good or feeling excited. But I at least want to see you guys waking up with a direction, with something to focus on. So a few of my clients lately have been really focused on their relationships and their dating. And things for them have been kind of hectic lately, and dates haven't been going well. And that happens. Let me just say, as a person who has dated and as a person who guides a lot of people that are dating, it happens. Women have been conditioned to make it about them, Women have been conditioned to always sit there at the end of the day and be like, what did I do wrong? This is not the same as a person that self-reflects and says, oh, how can I do better? There's a difference here. There's an internal, from the conditioning, from the way that women believe that we're always doing something wrong. From that place, the woman sits down and says, why aren't I good enough? Why am I not being chosen? What's wrong with me? Why is this person choosing other people? So this is a conditioned mindset. This is a victim mindset. It's very important that you look at the people that you are entertaining in your life. And it's very important that you take a step back and assess whether or not they are a quality person or they're just a person. They can be as hot as they need to be. Okay, they can check all the physical boxes. But at the end of the day, physical boxes do not actually relate to emotional support, encouragement, understanding, compassion. Those are not the same. Some of y'all are looking at the wrong qualities and then getting upset when they're not all these other things that you project on them. Don't let someone's pretty privilege get the better of you. Okay, the halo effect. Oh, they're hot. That must mean all this other stuff. No, it doesn't. They can just be hot. Okay. The other thing too is in this conditioning, in this like, what's wrong with me? All of that. You start to create a pattern of feeling like you're not good enough. You're reinforcing something that already exists in you. My whole freaking goal is to get you guys out of that place where you're not even entertaining the fact that that's a possibility. It's not about that. You're not going to be like, oh, I'm so perfect. Oh, some guy is going to choose me because I'm the best. I'm better than everyone. No. It's not that either. It's this place of like, I am good enough and I am so worthy to be chosen. And when those little voices in my head start to whisper, and when those little experiences from my past start to pop up in my own mind, I don't use them as an example. I don't attach myself to them. I don't bring them closer into my consciousness and entertain them. And by being like, yeah, well, that guy left and that guy left and this, I made that mistake one time and that's the reason that that guy left. You're not even doing any of that in your mind. It's not happening. It's not happening because you're feeling good about who you are and you know what you bring to the table. And that's that. People have a right to leave. Like you reserve the right to leave at any moment as well. And I think that women are always like the victims of like, oh God, he left me. Like, but you could have left at any moment, the moment that you realized that he was a loser. You could have done that, but you didn't. You kept making excuses. You kept letting the hot factor override your intuition. Come on. We have to stop. We have to stop. We have to do better if we want better, right? So as I was talking with some of these women, I was like, babe, let's talk about what else is going on in your life. Because you're sitting here and you're beating yourself up, and that energy could be used creating something, going deeper with a practice, or gaining a higher education around something that you want to learn about. Sitting there and wallowing is a symptom that your life isn't busy enough. This is what happens when you're bored. You have too much room. You have too much space to let those feelings become the only thing that matter. Those sad feelings, those worry feelings, those I'm not enough feelings. You have given them too much room because you are not busy enough doing things in your life. You have to understand that there is a reason that you have so much energy, and that you might wake up, with very little in the tank, but you still have energy. What do you want to do with it? Do you want to get busy, let's say for the sake of low energy, inspiring yourself with a Pinterest board that focuses on how you want to feel when you're outside of this funk? Reaching out to a friend and having a little conversation, a little pep talk. Do you want to use that energy, maybe just restoring, some good vibes to yourself by watching something funny that you enjoy? These are all simple things that also do factor into getting busy with your life, because it's things that make you happy. It's things that help you stay balanced. You're imbalanced when all you're doing is sitting around and whining about why a man didn't pick you. That is not balance. We need to get you out of that place. I want to get you out of that place. So I said, hey, babe, What else do you have going on? I guarantee you that you have a list somewhere, whether it's on your phone or it's something that you wrote in your journal and it's in the back of the journal now because you didn't freaking prioritize it. It's a list of stuff that you wanted to do that you didn't do. Why is that? Why is that? Because you became so focused on why other people aren't choosing you that you have stopped choosing yourself. The highest version of yourself doesn't want to sit there focusing on why they weren't chosen. The highest version of yourself is choosing yourself. That's it. That's what they're doing. They're actively choosing themselves. They're looking at this list and being like, oh my God, I have all this stuff that I want to do. How can I make this happen in my life? And then they do it. They do the things that they need to do to make those things happen in their lives. I think that it's very easy to get caught up. It's very easy to get distracted. And so because it's easy, you have to do the hard things of putting blinders on. You need to take your power back and you need to understand why these distractions exist. Okay? They exist because they've existed for a long time for women to only be in service of being in a relationship. It plays on this like primal, desperate part of us, the preservation of our species. It's like, I have to stay. I have to make him choose me because if he doesn't, then it's somehow like I'm not good enough. And it's like, no. You bring so much to the table. Choose yourself until someone chooses you. It doesn't have to be this really wild narrative of I am worthless. Look, people can tell you that. That's their judgment of you. That's where they're valuing you. They're putting no value on you. Why the would you want to be chosen by someone who doesn't put any value, who doesn't see value in you? This is why, again, we must see the value in ourselves and we must act like we are valuable. We must invest in ourselves. This means we must keep ourselves busy. Do you know what I'm saying, you guys? Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm coming at you from this like really passionate teacher place in a sense of like, you guys, I have so much information. I see so much on a day-to-day. I have such a very interesting worldview because of my life experience, because of my education, and because of what I do for a living. This is the coaching aspect of things. Like, I want to see you guys thriving. And I feel like some of this comes from you, the understanding, like, here's the foundational way of how to frame your inner world, of how to frame your thoughts, of how to frame your beliefs, of how to frame your feelings, of how to, and then what to do with that information, that framework. The proper internal structure lets you thrive externally. It brings back the energy because you're not wasting it on stuff that doesn't matter. You're not distracted. You're putting your energy to use in a way that is beneficial and reinforcing your own value. That feels good. It feels not necessarily effortless because, like I said, like there's an amount of effort you have to place mentally, emotionally, like those boundaries in your life. You can't let yourself slip up. You can't let yourself get away with entertaining nonsense because you know how slippery of a slope that is. So you must have higher standards for yourself. But you can get there. You can get there and you can maintain that high standard. But taking your power back is so important because women have been conditioned to just sit around and do nothing but wait. Like, I hate that. You know what I mean? Like, as a female, as a woman, I'm like, ugh, like there's nothing that makes me more annoyed than like knowing that, knowing that like society is structured around that. And so then from the moment you're born, you are limited as a woman based on how the world operates, the structures that have been put in place. And so you take your power back by getting busy because look how much freedom you have today. You have so much more freedom today than our ancestors had. And so you need to really value the opportunity that you're given by taking action. You have a finite amount of time on this planet. To see you wasting it on things that do not matter and that you cannot control, it makes me passionate about why I'm doing this work. It's why I'm so motivated, because I see so many of you guys distracted. And here's the thing. If you guys were the type of people that just wanted a relationship, that were relationship oriented people, and that was it, you would have already settled. But you're not. You're not those type of people. You're not those type of women. You're the type of woman who wants more for yourself and more for the people around you, which means you have to do more for yourself until those other people that are doing more for themselves come around. You know what I mean? We're not usually born into the environment of like super high standards or healthy examples of relationship. Some of us are, and that's amazing, but not all of us are. And so if we're not, that means we need to get out of those circumstances. We need to stop doing the same behaviors that we were doing when we were in those environments, okay? And we need to do better for ourselves. And yes, it's hard. And yes, I can fully acknowledge, like, of course you want someone. And of course you're like so worthy of that. But the universe isn't playing games. The universe isn't like making you a victim of that person not being busy in your life yet. Your timing just hasn't happened. And maybe there are things that you need to do in your dating strategy that will help you stop wasting time on the distractions. I think it's important for you to understand where you start to give up your personal power. I see this a lot when that sense of like desperation starts to come over you as a woman because you want to be chosen. You start to forget to choose yourself again. And it's okay. We all do it. It's it's unfortunately part of our conditioning. But if we know that that's going to get triggered, and if we know how that trigger then manifests into real life, it manifests with us forgetting about our own stuff, right? It's like a little brainwashing thing. But if we know that happens, then we can prevent falling down that rabbit hole. Because we say, oh, but I know what this is. I'm no longer tricked by it. I just notice it. It's like, well, the door's open. It doesn't mean I need to walk through it. You know, it's like a no thank you. No thank you. I'm going to keep focusing on myself. We fall into this trap usually when we haven't quite strengthened the choosing ourselves pattern yet. It's like in process, but it's not enough. We're still working on creating those boundaries. We're still working on showing up for ourselves. And I think sometimes in the excitement of a new person and all of the feelings that come with it, we can very quickly or slowly over time, I guess, realize, oh man, I kind of let go of some of those things that I said I was going to do. Okay. All right. And let me do something about that. Let me go ahead and go back to my paper. Let me go back to my list. Let me go back to my diary. What was I dreaming about? What did I really want? How did I say I was going to accomplish it? Okay. Let me get back into my center. And let me tell you something. The people that are for you are going to give you a hell yeah. They're going to sit there and say, tell me about your action plan, just like I am doing with you right now because I freaking love you. And they're going to say, how can I support you? Baby, if they don't say any of that, then they're not your person. It's that simple. It can be painful to realize it because you're going to notice how many people you got to let go of. But it's okay because not everybody's for you and you don't need everybody. You are acknowledging your creative nature when you get busy with the things that matter to you. Your life is incredible in the sense that you can have what you want. And I want you to imagine then that you already do. So if y'all already had the family, if you had the boyfriend, if you had all the things like in terms of relationship, what else would you be doing with your day? What else would you be doing with your time? This is a good question to ask yourself because it can help you get busy with the things that are really meant for you, right? Like I say this in this sense that I want you to be out here in the world feeling really fulfilled and like your life is well-rounded. It doesn't all come at the same time, but it's like if you aren't having any type of flow in your life, it could be because you're just limiting things. You're limiting yourself, usually is the answer there. So it's so important that, you take this look at your life and you take this time to evaluate and say like, okay, but am I actually going for the things that are on my list? Where do I even start? What do I need to put in place in order to start accomplishing my dreams and my visions? Not everybody has the same visions and dreams as you do. So they're given to you for a reason. They're coming up within you because it's something that your life force energy wants to experience. It wants to have that. It wants to be around it or immersed in it, whatever. Give that the possibility of happening. Give that the possibility of happening by taking action, by opening up and not sitting around and just like waiting to be chosen. You have to choose yourself. I will say this until I cannot say it anymore. I feel like it's a hill I'm going to die on, and I'm okay with that because I don't know that enough people are hearing it. I mean, I talk to many, many, many women, and it is not lost on me that so many of you guys want a relationship and that you're doing everything you can to get it. And I would agree in the sense that you're putting yourself out there, you're going out on dates, you're on all the apps. But then there's this other part of your life that's like completely neglected. It's not full. And I think that can cause unnecessary pressure on you in the dating sense, in the romantic life aspect. It can make you kind of hyper focus on romance. And I believe that then creates stress. And then that stress can then manifest of like, well, now it becomes about, I have to get this done and I have to prove it. I have to make it happen. And then if it doesn't happen, slowly but surely, the mind starts to bubble up those stories of, yeah, the last guy didn't choose you either. You're probably just, destined for nothing. Why would anybody choose you? It's very insidious the way that the mind and body work, but here's the thing. It can also be to your benefit, but you need to make that happen through getting busy with your own life, okay? Make it happen in the best way possible. You are the most creative and most amazing person. I believe that about you, and I can't make you see that about yourself, but I hope I can inspire you to figure out where that is within you, because like you really do deserve to have the life that you want. And I want to see you choosing yourself. When you make yourself an investment, that is the highest vibration, okay? When you start to believe that you are valuable, that's just high energy. You see your worth and you know what it is, and you're acting as if that's the case. So ask yourself some of those questions that I talked about today. Really just, again, reflect on where you want more in your life and then go get it. Go get it. Make it happen. I hope this inspires. I love you, and I'll talk with you later. Bye.